My parents' values are my values. I hope they will become my children's values. And I know they are the values that we share here tonight. They believed, as I do, that we show thee our faith by our works. And that's what this center is all about leaders who not only share strong values, but who roll up their sleeves and work for what they believe in. Our work together has brought legislative achievements, accomplishments, and policy changes. For example, we believe that the hungry shall be filled, so we eliminated the food tax, which fell hardest on those least able to pay it. We believe that the poor shall see the kingdom of heaven, so we spent 10 years fighting to increase the minimum wage, because we would not tolerate someone working a 40-hour week, yet still remain in poverty. We believe those who thirst for righteousness are blessed. So we created an Indigent Defense Commission so everyone in Virginia, regardless of income, would receive fair and equal justice under the law for all Virginians. We believe in the meek shall inherit the earth. So we created an earned income tax credit that has lifted 2.5 million children out of poverty. And because today we need the wisdom of Solomon to survive in this crazy world, we made the largest investment in Virginia history, the largest investment in education in Virginia history. We achieved these things in service to all because we believe that here on earth, God's work truly must be our own. And our values are not just about solutions we seek, but the way in which we achieve them. Through inclusion, by reaching an outstretched hand of unity to not Christians, Jews, Muslims, and all peoples of all faiths. That's what makes you all so uniquely important to the work you do and to Virginia's health. But our work remains far from complete. Because how can we be satisfied when the wealthiest nation on earth, the richest nation in human history, allows 1 in 5 of its children to live in poverty? How can we be satisfied when 47 million of our fellow Americans go without any health care at all? How can we ever be satisfied when the nation that ranks first in billionaires, first in millionaires, yet ranks 37th in the world for infant mortality? How can we say we are providing opportunity for all when a child of a family making $90,000 is 8 times more likely to get a college degree than a child from a family making $35,000 a year? We know as long as these inequities exist, we don't live in a just world. More works need to be done. When our founding creed declares that all are created equal, that means that every child deserves to grow up healthy. It means that every child deserves equal access to education. And it means no family should live in homelessness or poverty. But today we can't look into the eyes of a homeless Virginian and say that our work is done. We can't look in the face of a child born into poverty and say we did all we could do. We can't look in the faces of the greatest generation and promise them that they will age with dignity and respect. We cannot look into these faces and say we've kept our promise to seek justice, love, mercy, and walk humbly before our God. So how are we going to do this? How can we take the next steps toward a more compassionate Commonwealth? With the 2008 legislative session looming, there are works to be done. A few suggestions. I don't know if I'm one of those power brokers, but these are some of the things I'd like to get done. This year, we must work to expand coverage for prenatal care to the women who need it most and target state resources in the areas that are most affected. Virginia has the 17th highest infant mortality rate in the nation. This isn't a choice, it's a moral imperative. So we are going to expand the work of the Office of Faith-Based Services to help these young lives. Going to ask the state to work with many of you in this room, to work with leaders of our faith community to coordinate our efforts and get a message out to these young mothers who don't know what they need to do and do not know where to go to get it. Next, we are going to focus on strengthening access to opportunity for all Virginians. Following Governor Kane's lead, we will work together to expand early childhood education for Virginia families. We will make sure that every child gets a head start in this increasingly competitive global economy, no matter their race, their ability to pay, or where they're from. Research tells us that a child's brain develops before kindergarten. We have to invest in their young minds when it matters the most. It's clear that the costs of inaction are far too high. And our challenges extend outside of the classroom or the hospital room. We must preserve the natural wonders that God has given us. The forests of the great Southwest, the Chesapeake Bay, the rivers, the streams, the habitats that make the natural beauty of our Commonwealth. I want my children and their children and countless more generations to enjoy these beautiful treasures. This year we will provide incentives to construct more efficient and environmentally friendly state buildings, develop new ways to buy energy-saving appliances at home, Finance Committee, and advance the cause of research and development for alternative and renewable energy solutions. These are more than policy goals. This is us working for our values. It is what I learned growing up with a father and mother who believed we honor God when we honor our neighbor. That when we do good works, we practice our faith. And I'm confident we can tackle these challenges before us because we have leaders like Doug and Kenny and Bobby. People like each of you. You are guided by a moral compass that leads you toward the difficult challenges that are all too often overlooked. Dedicated to fighting for the people who need our help the most. Each of you are ripples of hope, crisscrossing from each corner of the Commonwealth and building a current that will usher in a more compassionate Commonwealth. We believe in a Virginia that is not only worthy of the great ideals in our Constitution, but lives up to the values in our Scripture. This isn't going to be easy, but we know that the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And we cannot do it alone. There are too many Virginians who share our commitment but are not engaged in the process. It is our challenge to find more allies for our cause. We have to look at the small businessman who's trying to grow his company. We have to reach the hourly worker living paycheck to paycheck. We have to find the college student studying to be a doctor. We need to find the single mom struggling to get by. And we owe it to the veteran who has given all they can to a grateful nation. We need them in our corner to do the works. We have a tremendous task before us, but thanks to each of you, we have a great start. We can build a Commonwealth that demonstrates the best of our shared values. The values my parents taught me, and the values I'm working to instill in my children. I'd like to conclude with the Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rain fall soft upon the fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you all for the works you do. God bless you all for now.